Hello you lovely people, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you are aware, but on the 6th of June, which is where we are today, we are on the 10th, so 4 days ago there was an American shot and killed in Cebu, and he was shot in the neck in a KTV bar, and he was shot by another American. And the American that shot him obviously had a gun. And not only one gun, but apparently it was later discovered that he had another gun as well. I think it was a rifle, an M1 or something like that. And obviously now the guy that shot the American, I think he's in his 70s, 72 or something like that. And now he's in custody. You'll never see the light of day, obviously, now, he's he's on like a murder rap now. But it all started, from what I can gather from the news. I've been watching the news. I was like flabbergasted by it. I was flabbergasted for a couple of reasons. One, another American shot another American here in the Philippines, and the other is a gun. He had a gun, and we all know that foreigners here, regardless of our visa type, we are not allowed to have any kind of firearm whatsoever. Now, I know there's a lot of people who, they've said to me before, safety first. Well, look, I haven't got no enemies, and I don't want any guns or anything like that. I did have a firearms license when I was in the UK, but that was sporting rifles, and in the UK we're not allowed to have handguns. But I did have a firearms license for sporting purposes only. But why on earth would you want a firearm in a country where you're not allowed to have one for a start? And why would you want one? Why? But this grievance apparently had been going on for quite some time, and he went to the KTV bar and just shot him in the neck. Now, you've heard my videos in the past about, I don't really mix with a lot of foreigners here. I don't, because I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying it doesn't really suit me. Because in my experience of, mixing with the community of foreigners, there's always some kind of animosity at some point. And everyone doesn't see eye to eye when you're in a foreign community. I've seen it myself. I've been in it. When I first come to the Philippines, and I used to go to the Chinese cuisine, which was where a lot of Americans, like foreigners, all nationalities, they used to hang out. And after a few beers, there was always something that happened. Sometimes fighting happened. It did, people, really. So I kept away from that. And this is, I'm not saying that something like this was, a reason for, for people not to hang around in, in foreign communities with each other. But the thing is, if you separate yourself from it, then you are alleviating risk of this. But I think this is probably an isolated case, because I've never heard of another foreigner shooting another foreigner in the Philippines up until now. I'm not saying it hasn't happened in the past, but this is very important, people. It's, why did he have a firearm? Now, it's easy to get a firearm here. It's easy. Unlicensed, obviously, if you're a foreigner, it would be unlicensed. And I know it's easy to get if you know the right people, and you can get. I was offered it. I mean, I never saw the firearm, but I was offered when I was in Dipolog City living, and the guy that offered me it, and I think he said 15,000 pesos. I said, look, I'm not interested. I don't want one. And he said, safety first, Stephen. I said, look, I don't care about safety first. If I felt threatened for my life, then I would just not be here. I don't need a firearm for protection. I just don't. I don't want to be in that predicament. it's just a reminder to me why I don't hang around in those circles of foreigners. And I know this is like it's a one-off case, I would imagine. But how many other foreigners here? It makes me think, how many other foreigners here have got illegal firearms? I know there's a lot of illegal firearms in England, where people have them. But here in the Philippines, having an illegal firearm and actually using the damn thing, I'm just a bit shocked, people. I am really. I'm a little bit shocked. I don't know how old the guy was who was killed, but I think I read that the guy who shot the other American, and they were both Americans, I think he was about 72, and now that's it. His life is ruined. 72 years old. Yes, he's had a good innings, I know that, but I'm saying he won't see the light of day now. It's just me, when I just remind myself why I don't mix in them circles. What's good for me is not good for many of you, and obviously what's good for you is probably, or for many of you, is not good for me. It's just something that I don't like to do, and it's not so much as like a badge of honor that I wear when I don't mix, when I just mix with this local community here, or even in Dipolog when I go to the to Dipolog, I mix with the the anglers, because I'm a member of the angling club, and they have meetings and all that, which I do sometimes attend when I have the time, and I've never seen trouble between the group of friends that I kind of associate myself with. I've seen trouble between Filipinos quite often when they have one Tanduay too many, or one one red horse too many, and then they were best of friends 10 minutes ago, and then they want to fight the world. But that happens all over the world. It happens. I've seen that in England many times. Between people, the dreaded drink. But it's just me, people. It's just me. And I just thought I would, because I haven't seen much about this, this case of American shooting an American here. And it just makes me wonder how many other foreigners have got illegal firearms here. How many have? And because bearing in mind, in America, it's kind of it's in their constitution of bearing arms, and I just think it's just something that maybe Americans like to do, is not go around shooting people, obviously, but owning a firearm for safety. Now, what I'm thinking is, because the guy was married, I think, the guy who shot the other guy. Now, maybe the gun was registered to his wife. I don't know. I really don't know. There's not too much about it, but maybe that was the case. And I know for a fact there is a couple of foreigners that I used to know. I don't know if they still live in here or not, but they got their wives to actually get a firearm, go through the legal channels, and actually apply for a firearms ticket, like a license. But even that, I would never ever want a firearm in the house. I wouldn't here. I certainly wouldn't want any guns in the house, and I 110% wouldn't want my wife, or I wouldn't even ask her to go and go through the rigmarole of getting a firearm for safety reasons and all that, and have one in the house. I just wouldn't do it, people. It's just not me. And I've got no need. I haven't got no need. I don't know of any trouble around here that that happens, or that has happened in the past where I am here, because where I am, it's all families that have lived here for generations, and they are all friendly people. I've never known of any incident here where anyone has shot and killed somebody. or stabbed somebody from here, from this part where I am. There was an incident 2 or 3 years ago when there was, I think it was a row where, you know, once a year there's like a party disco, and outsiders came in, and outsiders had an argument with other outsiders, and Filipino stabbed another Filipino, and he died. But as for outside of that, I don't know anything that's happened here. You know, you hear of politicians and politicians arguing and fighting and all that kind of stuff quite often, but again, that's nothing to do with us. It's nothing to do with normal people, like, you know, civilians. It's normally to do with the hierarchy of politics. That, you know, let's just say that. But this American shooting this other American, I think that's a turn up for the books. That for me, and I think for a lot of you know, for a lot of you guys, if you have read it yourselves, or if you haven't read it, you know, you're seeing this video, and maybe it might make you think as well. But that's it, people. I just thought I'll get this video out there, and tell me what you think in the comments. I am a bit shocked. I am. I didn't know the people. I don't live in Cebu, but it's just, anyway. That's it, people. I've my chores. I've got to do some cooking now for my son. I've got to cook for my wife. But she's getting what I cook. I can't make what she eats. I can't. There's no way I can stand over that stove and cook bullad, that dried fish. I can't do it. I'll be physically sick with the smell. Nah. I draw the line at that, people. If she wants to do that, she can do that herself. And me and Kaden will leave the house for about 3 days, because the smell stays in for 3 days. Anyway, people, listen, God bless you all. Take good care, and whatever you're doing, do it well, and take care of yourselves. Thank you, people. Over and out. Bye-bye.